the hard way. I don't need another.
You know, my mom, during Christmas time, the holiday season, she always made tons of candy. She'd make cookies. She'd make peanut butter balls dipped in chocolate and fudge that you could just die for. So I wanted to make some Christmas cookies for the kids that are coming over later to read the Christmas story the night before Christmas. So I got all my stuff sitting out here, and I'm going to start rolling out my sugar cookies, the dough for my sugar cookies. I don't think there's any better cookie than just the old-fashioned, traditional sugar cookie. And my dog back over here, see, he wants them. He knows how good they are. Listen, Grant, you can't have any yet. You gotta wait for a minute. I do cook on the bus occasionally. I have a little stove that only has 2 eyes on it. And the space that, I travel with the band, so the space is real limited. This is where we live. This is how we travel around the country to see all of you fans out there across America, along with my band. These doors right here, this is my favorite part of this bus, are these solid walnut doors. We've tried to knock holes through them, but we just can't. That's the reason I wanted solid walnut, because I know we've got a crazy bunch of people on this bus, and I would have had holy doors. This is where my band stays. These are bunks, and I'm not sure which one to open because they're all pretty dirty probably because it's right before showtime. This is my room. Again, my walnut door that I'm so proud of, and no holes through it yet. This right here is my first platinum album that I got last year for Take Me As I Am. Ready every night before show. Got me a sink in here, and this is my makeup area. I don't know if I turn these lights on what it's going to do, but that's what it looks like with the lights on. I got a picture of my dog Grant there. Of course, that's when he was a puppy. Now he's really grown. But, this is where I hang out about an hour and a half before the show every night. That's my shower. I don't want you to get too close in there because it's pretty dirty. These right here are my closets. I got mirrors on the outside of my closet so I can see, what I look like every night before I go out on stage. These are my clothes, and I got way too many clothes out here for what I wear. You end up wearing the same thing every night. Here's another closet I have for the clothes. Same thing, just too many. I got a lot of little gifts that my fans had given me out here on the road. This right here fan gave me that I thought was really cute. I got the best fans in the world, and they give me the sweetest little gifts all the time. Sometimes, on that bus, it's a 45-foot bus, and when you've got 10 people on a bus, absolutely, it gets claustrophobic. We get on each other's nerves. But I've got several guys that have been doing this for 20 years. I've got veterans out on the road with me that have been in every possible situation you can imagine. The best, the worst, the in-between, all of it. So they're the ones that are the rocks out on the road for the younger ones that haven't been out as often, which I'm included in that younger category because this is only my second year out on the road. So they kind of bring everybody back together when things get, a little claustrophobic and everybody starts feeling like, oh, if you look at me again that way, I'm going to kill you. That kind of thing. It all seems to work out. We've really never had any trouble, and that's why I feel very, very blessed. We have fun together out there, and it's a family. We realize that first of all, more importantly than anything else, is that everybody out there really loves to play music and really is as passionate about the music as I am. And recently we had a show with George Strait where it was the crowd was just incredible. The show was incredible. We might not have played perfectly, but the whole, the entertainment thing that everybody talks about, where you entertain, it might not be studio quality sounding, but boy, it was a show. And the feeling that you get, that I get, that my band got that night was just, it puts you on such a high. I can't even describe it. It's like you just feel relieved. You feel like exploding at the same time. I felt obviously thankful, and makes you want to cry. It's so overwhelming. When you get a reaction like that, that's what makes me want to do this so bad. When you can touch people's lives like that, whether it's, with a ballad where everybody in the whole stadium was silent, totally silent, listening to a song, and they really, most of them, maybe a few of them are there to see me, but for the most part, they're there to see George. When the whole place is silent, and you're singing a ballad, and then when the whole place goes wild when you sing an up-tempo song, maybe they don't even know, but they're just a great crowd, it's an awesome feeling. And that's what makes traveling on the road, after 2 months, not being home, it makes it bearable. If you have one of those nights out of 30, it's worth it.
In concert. George Strait. Boy, I tell you, George.
That's bad.
You just don't want all that.
Maybe one day I'll have my name on the sign somewhere. Just the opening act now, and I'm just so proud to be here.
This is the best of CMT Showcase from 1995, featuring Faith Hill. CMT Showcase from 1995, featuring Faith Hill.
We've had a few shows where they've been absolutely magical, spiritual almost, and you don't get them every night, but we strive for that, and we all understand, and somebody can ask me, what does it take to make a show so magical? I don't know. What does it take to make a star? What is that combination? I don't know. Some people have it, some people don't. It's like it's meant to be for you to be. It's just, we don't know what makes it so magical. It's just the timing. The crowd is ready. They're right. They want to hear. They're excited. They're full of energy. And when we walk out on stage, our days, our day together has been a good day, and everybody's feeling really psyched up, and all the music just kind of clicks, and everything really works, and it becomes a magical moment. And I think that's why there's so few of them for me right now, because it's the way for me to learn and to make myself better and to make our band better. And my musical tastes have really run the gamut. I'm a fan of all types of music. I'm a fan of great music, period. I don't care who it comes from. If I buy a CD that I really love, it could be country, it could be R&B, it could be gospel, anything, popular music, what you would call the top 40. I love music, period. I don't aspire to be in a top 40 category of music. I just don't think, that's not me, I'm just not. I couldn't pull it off. It wouldn't be real, I guess is what I'm saying. I think R&B, soul music, I did a lot of singing in black churches when I was growing up. So that type of music, I always wish that I was born black. I do. I just think that, that there's just no greater soul than that in the world, and that's really the only thing. I could never be an R&B singer, but I really love that kind of music. That's what I grew up listening to. My mom and dad listened to it. That was the dial that was on the radio station, in the car when we got, into the car to go to the grocery store when I was young. That's where my mom and dad had their radio dial set. And there's tons more country radio stations now than there ever was when I was younger. But when I was younger, country music and gospel music was really all that I knew.
Your suit's fuzzy.
It is.
You can't see it. Can you see this on the camera? I don't know if you can or not. It needs a shave, actually.
It
What's
does.
up with this thing?
We should have brought a...
It's gorgeous.
Well, thank you. It's, it's like a fake, false, I don't know how you say that.
See, I'd wear this.
some kind of fur. It's
Yeah.
not
It's
real.
faux fur.
Oh, faux fur.
Faux fur.
Faux fur.
Yeah.
I have a faux fur suit on today.
There you go.
In my den area, this is where I hang out most of the time, watching television and listening to music and just doing piddly things, writing letters, to my family sometimes. And this is probably my favorite place in the house.
Paper over or under the thing.
He does it under, but it's not right.
Thank you very much. God bless your heart. Thank you very much.
It's true.
It's the truth.
It's true.
It is true. This kiss, Faith Hill.
I wanted a career. My mom has talked to me a lot about, questioned how am I going to raise children on the road. I know when I set my mind to something, I can do it.
A special Best of Faith showcase from 1995. This afternoon at 2, 1 Central. All part of Gotta Have Faith Weekend.
My home, a little outside of Nashville, Tennessee. In the Christmas season, it's getting closer and closer to Christmas Day, and back up here in the den again, where this is my most comfortable spot to be in the house. And we've got the Christmas decorations, a few of them behind me, and they're all around the room. I just believe that, that old cliche that's been around for way longer than I've been around is, laughter is the best form of medicine. And I really believe that. I think if you can go every day in your life with some type of laughter, if you laugh at yourself, if you laugh at something on television, if you laugh at something you read, if you can just laugh, it seems to lighten you up and to take weight off your shoulders for maybe pressures in the world or pressures in your personal life or whatever. I just think it's really important, and I try to make it part of my daily regimen. I believe completely in the institution of marriage, and I mean, for many reasons. I want to have a family as much as I wanted a career, and as I still want a career. I want little kids running around to, I've always wanted that, as much as I've wanted a career. And it's been, it's going to be different. My mom has talked to me a lot about, questioned how am I going to raise children on the road, because she knows that I wouldn't leave them here, I'd take them with me. And she's questioned how I'm going to do that. And I know when I set my mind to something, I can do it. And I want a family as bad as I want a career. So I do believe in the institution of marriage. And I want my children to see love from their parents, not only giving it to them, but I want them to see a loving relationship between their mom and dad. So when it's time for them to grow up and start dating and to think about marriage, I want them to feel like, to be able to share love. My life. I take that back. The thing that I started, it wasn't that I collected it, I just got a couple of issues. When I was a teenager, and don't ask me why I thought about this as a teenager, of all things, to think about, but I stored away a couple of the old 17 magazines and Life magazines. I have them in my hope chest that my mom and dad given me years ago. I have them in there now, so when I have children and grandchildren, I can pull those things out and go, you think what you have on right now is wild? Well, look at what I used to wear, that sort of thing. So on occasion, a couple of times I've done a video where I've worn, my own shirt and jeans, but I've always had a stylist help me on videos, and some with the road. A lot I've done on my own, picking up stuff, traveling around, and I'm a huge fan of Richard Tyler, who's a designer that I just really love his stuff, and I've admired him from afar in magazines, and last year was the first time I've ever bought one of his pieces, and I thought that I had really, you know, that was like, you know, someone said to me one time, so what's the big purchase? Have you bought a mansion? Have you bought a big car yet? And I said, no, I bought a Richard Tyler suit. Yet in terms of what I wear on stage. In videos, you can get away with a lot because it just depends on what the story is about, and sometimes you can really get fun, you know, in videos. But for performance, I feel that I need to stay a little bit more of who I am, and I could go out there in a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt. That's how I'd be most comfortable. But it might not be quite as exciting, you know, to the audience. I think, you know, as a woman entertainer, I think I like to see, when I go to a show, I like to see the entertainer come out and just be knocked out by what she has on. Yeah, I just think that's part of it for me. But I'm still learning. You know, I've tried several different outfits on stage, and I'm finding what works best for me.
This is the best of CMT Showcase from 1995, featuring Faith.
She'll think you're pretty rich right now.
Oh, well, yeah, I've actually got a couple of nieces and nephews, and there's one in particular that you're talking about, that the first time he saw me on TV about a year and a half ago, he thought that immediately I had become a billionaire, and so I had all this money, and I could go out and buy him all these things like cars and VCRs and all the things that he's ever wanted. I could go out and buy for him. Look at him. He's happy because he has landed on the roof and delivered toys to all the boys and girls.
He's jigging.
He's jigging, that's right.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Well, that's probably what he's singing. A broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. Can't y'all just see that?
I wanted to be the spokesperson for the literacy, to say how important reading is. Not for many reasons. One, because it was personal to me. My dad, he didn't learn to read. You know, he's one of 13 children, and he had to quit school when he was in the 4th grade to support the family, basically, to work on the farm and pick cotton and, you know, help around the house and that sort of thing. So he never had the opportunity, really.
He was as chubby and plump and right like an old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
I think it expands the mind so much that it just sends, you know, a child, when a child reads, they start imagining things and thinking and dreaming, and if you can't dream, you know, I just don't know what you have. I mean, even if you dream to have a tomato garden someday, you know, and you have that dream and you do it, you've accomplished a dream. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be president of the United States. It doesn't have to be that big. And in this day and time, especially with the computer, with so many computers around and the games, I mean, my nephews are so into those, you know, Nintendo, and I don't even know, I'm so far out of that stuff, but all those Sega games that they play on television, the only thing that does is works their hands and maybe a little bit of eye-hand coordination. But as far as using your imagination, I don't think so. Not like it used to be. Not when the only type of entertainment there was to pick up a book and to read it. Without a high school education, you know, and I definitely encourage, I didn't finish college, but I encourage and just, you know, I say go to college, finish college, go to school. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, and that saying has been said so many times before, but it is the absolute truth. I mean, the good Lord has given us minds, and some are greater than others, but everybody has them, and I think the capacity that we all have in our minds, it's just not, we haven't even, you know, expanded on it ourselves. So I think it's just like in songwriting. People have been given gifts to write songs. People have been given gifts to tell stories. And I just think it's another form for a child to really expand their imagination. I mean, for me, it enabled me to dream, you know, when I was a child after reading books, you know, and the Bible, that you would always read the Bibles, you know, during Sunday school and stuff like that, and stories about, you know, the people in the Bible, and I mean, it just, you know, to me, it opens up a whole new world.
And then he sprang his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like down of a thistle. But I heard them exclaim, as he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and what's the last thing? And to all a good night. What'd y'all think about that?
That was a good look.
That was a good look, wasn't it? Yeah. What do y'all think about?
He looks like a deer, sort of.
He does. You know what we should do? If I had
Give him antlers?
Yeah, we should give him antlers, and if I had a red magic marker, we'd mark on his nose. So he'd be like Rudolph.
And I just love kids, and they just bring so much light to anything. So that's why I also wanted them to be a part of this special occasion for me being, you know, Artist of the Month for CMT. I wanted, for the Christmas season, it's about sharing and giving, and we've gotten some children from the Tennessee Baptist Home for Children who don't have families, and to be able to bring them here to the house and read a story to them and sit in front of the Christmas tree and just eat cookies that, you know, that we made, and I mean, it just makes life more fun, you know, if you can give a little.
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer game.
I cannot believe.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you drive my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeers loved him.
Gotta have faith this weekend.
I have a rocket attached